Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Practical Bitachon in 22. And we're going to be learning about trust. And again, this is our fourth class that we're doing, our Zoom for 15 minutes. And it's 15 minutes of 10 minutes that we're going to be learning Shaar Habitachon, which is the gate of trust. And we have another 5 minutes where we're going to be sharing a letter from the Lubavitcher Rebbe on trust. Just a very fascinating and awesome class that was really here for, I would say, the most important person that it's here for is for myself and everyone for their self, to be able to realize that it's a very important piece that we need to have bitachon, trust, every single day, every single morning. And it's like a muscle. We use it. We got to go to the gym every day. We got to work out every day. And the same thing here is with bitachon. You gotta constantly work on it. And so this is what we're doing. We're here together. So join us for the 15 minutes right now, and we're gonna jump right in. Here we go. Okay, so today's class again is dedicated in the merit for Shalema for all those that need. Again, if someone has someone that they want to dedicate it for, just say and we'll share it for this learning in honor of them. And so here we go. So we're going to start off, and we're continuing from last week. We're talking about how these are going to be a few different verses throughout Tanakh, where it talks about the importance of a person relying on Hashem. So we're going to read over here from Yirmiyahu, and it says, "Blessed is the person who relies on Hashem, on the Lord, and the Lord will be his support. Hashem will be his support." And this is something that we say every single day in benching and grace after meals. At the end of it, literally ends off with that. And what this is talking about is that a person that puts his trust in Hashem and God, everything is gonna really, Hashem is gonna really take care of him, make sure he's supporting him. And now it goes on to say another very, very important pasuk. It says, what is another thing? It says, we're going to the next one. Fortunate is the person who made Hashem his support. And what did he not do? He didn't start going to the people, the business people, to the haughty and those that turn to falsehood. A lot of times you have the bosses, you have other people out there that are thinking, oh, I'm the one that's giving you your money. Make sure you do what I say because I'm the one that's doing this. And no, we have to remember that where the money is coming from, where everything's coming from, is not from the boss. The boss is just the vessel where we're getting our money through. But our job is to remember that it all comes from Hashem. And then it says, it continues going on, and it says, it's going to give that a person, it shows that the other part, that if cursed is a person who relies on a man, which is, a fellow or someone, something else besides for Hashem, and he makes his flesh his arm, and whose heart he turns away from Hashem. And what's really talking about over here is that it's a person that starts relying on other people besides for Hashem. It really, really, Hashem takes away his divine providence from those. And it's our job, our little job is to make sure that we always have this in mind. And I just brought over here, just always remember, Hashem is there for us. And if we rely on Hashem, Hashem is literally going to grab us and be able to help us in so many times. And I think one of the stories I want to just share quickly that happened to myself, I was going through, I had to pay rent, and this was a few years ago, and it was, I think, during the height of COVID. And I know it was really, really challenging for me. And I was like, how am I supposed to pay for this? And I was at shul, and I was finishing davening, and I knew that my account was in negative. And like if they took the rent that day, it's going to be in negative. And all of a sudden, I say to someone in shul, I say, could you just share me something on bitachon? And he shares me something about bitachon, a beautiful little short thing. And then after, as I'm getting ready to leave shul, I said, I'm going to go check my bank account now. I'm expecting it to be 2,000 in the, minus. And all of a sudden I look and it says, and I'm like, wait, it says plus 3,000. I'm like, what's happening here? And I realized all of a sudden that I got from 5 years of doing miluim, I never got paid. And right then it came in that morning, my miluim came into my US bank account, and it was more than that. It was able to be 3,000 to plus, not 2,000 in the minus. I was like, wow, literally, Hashem, this is exactly it. You trust in Hashem, and Hashem is going to be the one that supports you. And we say also that, again, fortunate is a person that made Hashem his support, and he didn't turn to the haughty people and those to turn to falsehood. Again, you rely on a person for something, you don't know what's going on in their mind. You don't know what's happening really behind them and what they're really thinking. But if we rely on Hashem, Hashem really, really takes care of us. So one other thing that we're going to do over here is we're going to talk about now is people a lot of times get confused with their trust. And so he's going to bring in what happens if a person relies on his wisdom, his sheems, his physical strength, and his own efforts. And what does that mean? That means a person thinks they're getting ready for the day, and they're like, wow, you know what happened yesterday with that business deal I had? I thought of this crazy idea, and I shared it with these people, and now people are coming over to me, and they're, wow, this person knows what he's talking about. He's the expert at this. And he starts getting himself, his ego gets in his way. And all of a sudden he thinks it's him that's the one that's really the one that's smarter about it. But you have to remember, our job is to remember that it doesn't come from anywhere else. It comes from Hashem. And our job is, and it was a fascinating thing, the Alter Rebbe says that we have to work. We have to put our head into the work that we're doing. But we don't want to put our head into something that it takes over our life and that we're thinking that it's all of us that we're doing. Of course, a person cannot sit back. None of us are able to sit back and say, you know what? You're saying that I shouldn't put my thoughts in it, so I'm just going to rely on Hashem. I'm just going to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. No, that's not what it means. A person's not allowed to do that. The person has to. It says that v'chol asher taseh, all that you do. And what does do mean? Do means actually with your hands. You have to be able to put your efforts in to actually make the vessel. And from there, we're going to be very successful. And then what does it say over here on the next page? It says that, I'm going back just 1 second over here, that if a person relies on his wisdom, his sheems, his physical strength, and his efforts, then those efforts will be for naught. He'll become weak and lose the physical strength, and his sheems and wisdom will fall short of accomplishing his goals. As the Pasuk says, he traps clever people in their shrewdness. What does that mean? That sometimes we really get caught up really in everything that we're doing. And our full-on job is to be aware. I think this is something that was really important for myself to remember. And again, I love taking examples of like reminding myself, every year we do this campaign for raising funds. And it was like, people come to you and like, wow, you were very successful one year. You're successful another year. Give us all what the details, how you do it, what's the trick? And you start talking about it, and then you forget that Hashem's the one doing it, and that Hashem's the one that's making it happen. And then this year we had a massive goal we made, and we didn't reach the goal yet. And all of a sudden I'm like, wait, maybe Hashem's just giving me this. I have to remember that it's not all about my ideas, everything, because I didn't get it, and just like kind of keeping me in check that way. And I think for all of us, it's sometimes that reminder, a beautiful reminder from Hashem, who's our Father in heaven, that we should really be able to realize that He's the one running the show. He's really taking care of us, and He's going to always take care of us. And that's something that's really, really, really important for us to always remember. And I just put over here that this is a beautiful thing that I read. We need to utilize our strengths and abilities because this is the vehicle that Hashem gives us to achieve success. But we need to be aware that blessings and success come from Hashem. So everyone, that's our job, is to remember that we have to utilize what we're doing because it's the vehicle, whether it's in school, in work, in marriage, and who knows what. And that we're really good at certain things, and we have strength. But we have to be aware that all the blessing and success comes from Hashem. So I want to go today to a letter from the Lubavitcher Rebbe. It's a little bit longer, so I want to start a minute earlier. 25th of Sivan, 1952. Greetings and blessings. I received your letter dated Wednesday, the 34th day of the Omer, in which you described the state of your business affairs, your considerable debts, etc., etc. The person's obviously going through a hard time financially in his business, and you write further that you have a possibility of selling some of your properties, but that you find yourself unable to decide alone what you should do. Above all, it appears from your letter that you are dispirited, so that as a matter of course, your trust in God has weakened. So again, he wrote a letter that he was sad, that somebody doesn't feel like he has it. So then he continues. The phrase I just used was above all, as it's stated in our holy sources. Sorry, I wrote that wrong. The D, put it in there. Sources in general, and the literature of Chassidus in particular, everything depends on bitachon, the attribute of trust. A man's trust is the measuring stick of the extent to which this material fears are bound and fused with the Creator. If this fusion is complete, which means the person has bitachon, it is certainly impossible for anything to be lacking, because in the worlds above, the concept of lacking is utterly non-existent. In accordance with your request, again, he's going to say, I mentioned your name in connection with the fulfillment of your needs when I visited the holy resting place of my revered father-in-law. He went to the Ohel for his father-in-law. It was in 1952, so his father-in-law passed away, the previous Chabad Rebbe, 2 years before that. That said, since you asked for my advice, I hold that you should focus on toiling on yourself. Meaning he's saying that he should work on himself to fortify your trust in God to the greatest extent possible. In truth, having the attribute of trust means that even in according to the laws of nature, one sees no way out. You have no way, you don't know how it's going to be possible to be successful in this. So then we're going to go back to, in one's mind, it is beyond all doubt that everything will be good in a way that is actually visible and manifest to fleshly eyes with regard to having an ample livelihood. He's saying right over here, like, it's going to be good. Everything's going to be good. And so, sound health and so on. From the perspective of the world above, considerations of nature are quite immaterial. Meaning everything, Hashem's able to do everything. Accordingly, once a person raises himself up and adopts the stance that even slightly above the ground, that is, he brings himself to the realization that since he's believing a Jew, he's a person that believes in Hashem. He is utterly certain that there is no master over him but Hashem alone. So what's going to happen? Then he's going to be able to draw down from Hashem this, and he's going to actualize this certainty here. And so here too, so that in the physical world, to consideration of nature will not affect him adversely, God forbid. Meaning, if he believes in Hashem, the laws of nature aren't going to apply to him, like we said in last class. I firmly hope to God that if you only fortify your trust to the utmost, you will immediately see a change in the providence which governs your material business affairs, and your situation will improve and to proceed from good to even better. So he's saying that if you really trust in Hashem, you're going to see the success from Hashem, the divine providence, in your business affairs, and your situation will improve. In addition, it would be appropriate to immediately begin giving tzedakah as you used to, and to increase your accustomed donations at least slightly. So a person, he said, a person gives $5 to charity, $1 to charity, give $1.01, give a drop more. I look forward to hearing good news from you on all the above with blessing for material success, and may the teaching of the Alter Rebbe, which is the first Chabad Rebbe, again I wrote a mistake here when I was typing it up, be fulfilled in your life, that the Holy One, blessed be He, grants Jews materially, and that they transform materiality into spirituality. That is for today. Again, I think our job is, as we go on to today, we finish off the day, what we could take away from today for everyone is what we said the first class. Just practice bitachon. You have a car spot to go to, you need to find a parking spot. Just think of it. Think of Hashem. I trust in you. I'm going to have true trust. And you'll see. You really see how it works. Try it. And I think that's our goal with everything we do. And we also said last time, one more piece. Have joy. Be besimcha. And if we do that, we're going to see a tremendous amount of success in everything that we're doing. Wishing you all a wonderful day as we go offline.